Alright, this is going to be the bonus video for the Megaman Legends 2. It's going to be on the sub-weapons. It's going to be in order, and they're all maxed. So, let's start with the Crusher. It's a powerful weapon. I'm going to let this record through the transitions and whatnot, just because it's going to be a lot easier for me to edit if I do it that way. Anyway, this is the Crusher. It is a one-shot only. It takes a long time for it to recharge, and by the time it's fully recharged, that shockwave goes away. Its only real purpose is dungeons where there are a lot of Reaper bots after you. So, yeah. Let's see if I can get data with it. Whoa. On to the next one, I guess. Luckily, you don't get damaged by it, so... Alright, the next weapon. The Buster Cannon. Good firepower and range, but cannot be fired while moving. I recommend holding off on upgrading all the really costly ones until after you get the discount from roll, after you give her the gifts and whatnot. Anyway. It is a powerful weapon, yes, but as you can see, it takes a long time for you to be able to shoot again. So, my recommendation for this is use it against flying characters that are relatively slow. That way you can get them, and also only single targets. Don't bring this weapon into a crowded fight. Hyper Shell. Spreads damage over a large area but cannot be fired while moving. Alright. It's pretty powerful and the reload charge is pretty quick, but like the Buster Cannon, it's only good for certain battles. So only use that in a battle where there are a lot of enemies. Like the train battle, that'd be a good battle to have this one in. Okay. Homing Missile. Now you've seen this one a lot in the LP, but I'm going to show it for those that don't watch the LP. This is a generally all-around good weapon to have. Especially for quick characters or enemies. When it's fully mastered like it is now, the blue gauge does not go down, so it has literally unlimited ammunition. It just has a relatively slow reload time. But it's powerful and is a good use for virtually every boss, except for the final one. Which I recommend a weapon I'll recommend later. Alright, next weapon is... Ground Crawler. Rolls along the ground until it touches the enemy and it then explodes. Now, I don't find much purpose for this weapon in fights. Basically, anything it touches, or if it runs out of time, it'll just explode. I don't really know of a good place to use that except for dungeons with the base Reaper bot. You know, it's just interesting weapon, but not really practical. The Vacuum Arm. Now this is more of a aid arm, not really a weapon for battle. If you have the Buster tricked out like I do, this is perfect. You can have this for easier, make dungeons easier. All it does is suck up your refractor shards and whatnot. That's about it. It's the same thing as Megaman Legends 1, so. Alright. The Reflector arm. This one's a little more interesting. You just throw it, and if it hits something after it bounces off, it'll explode. But since there's no monsters here, we can't really get to explode. So, on to the next weapon. It's a generally good weapon if you're in corridors, but anything other than that, it's pointless. And it's not really all that practical in boss fights. Shield arm. Now, I don't really like the shield arm in any of the Megaman Legends games. Mainly because I can never get them to work. But theoretically, that is supposed to protect you from ranged weapons and physical attacks to a degree. And while you have it up, you can't attack, so. Nice, though, is that it's infinite, and you can actually move around while it's on. If you can get it to work, then it is a decent defense. Beyond that, not really. So what it says about it. Okay. The blade arm. Now, this one's fun. Now, this one's mastered, so it's going to be interesting. Now, I remember in the first one, it just shot a arc forward. They've changed that. That's an actual sword. And it's pretty much Sephiroth's Masamune. So, it deals good damage and is actually pretty quick. But against boss fights, it's only good if it's a relatively slow boss. And you can't get damaged from running up to it. So, Bola would be decent. Claymore would be decent against too, but you can't get them for that. Get this weapon by that time, so. Shining Laser. Now this is the weapon I recommend for the final boss fight. It is the strongest weapon in the game. It's like the Shining Laser in Megaman Legends 1. It will shoot straight through enemies. And deals a lot of damage real quick. Unfortunately, the only boss you can use it against... Well, technically you can use it against all the Riverbot bosses, but that's besides the point. But the only real boss you can have it mastered by is Sarah, so... Alright, what's the next one? The Machine Gun Arm. This is more of a gun for those that like rapid fire. Yeah. I find it kind of impractical because yes, it has a lot of damage, or it's quick and it probably has a lot of damage, but it's that whole short bursts. Where you have that, yeah, it's infinite. Basically, your buster's generally going to be better than that gun. Next one is Spread Buster. Now, this one's a little more interesting if memory serves. Yeah, this is for those large rooms that you have a lot of creatures in. So, Nino Island's ruins, this would be really good. All the fish that keep bomb rushing you. But other than that, it's not really all that practical. Because it has that, yes, it's, shoots multiple targets. Problem is, there's that wide gap in between the bursts. Now, this one is from the beginning, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This weapon only has a limited places you can actually use it. The beginning of the game, yes, it's usable. In the battle on Nino Island, where you're using the Parabola, it might catch on fire, so you can use this to remove the fire. But if you're quick enough, like I kind of was, you won't need it. Just destroy the missiles and you'll be fine. Anything else? The Hunter Seeker and Drill Arm. Okay. Now, the Hunter Seeker is actually a really interesting weapon, in my opinion. It makes a good partner. That will shoot like that. Like what you can, yeah. It makes a good strategy. And then they explode. So basically, it'll shoot anything you're targeting, and then self-destruct when they're virtually useless. So it is a good weapon for that context, but in actual practice, it's not all that good. And they explode on contact too. Now the drill arm is the final one. There are only really 2 destroyable walls locations in the game. That is on Mata Island and the guild base ruins. That's all it's used for. You can use it to shoot off the shields of those guarded enemies, and that's about it. Really. They should have made more destroyable walls in my opinion, but whatever. Anyway, that is all the sub-weapons. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I shall see you in the next video or the next LP. Bye.